You dig the preseason, Carl.
I dig the preseason because it's over.
It's 3-0. That's
3-0
the
for the first time since 1994.
You are correct, Coach Shanger.
Bears are impressive. The Bears' first team was impressive in the final tune-up before the regular season. So thanks everyone for tuning into the channel. Post-game edition of the Bears versus Browns tonight. We do appreciate you guys checking us out, hanging out with us tonight. I know you were out tonight, but
they hung on.
Well, no, look, they hung on. A lot of mistakes, and like one of the bad things, I guess one of the few negative things that happened from tonight. Skulks, what's going on, brother? One of the negative things that happened tonight is that Kairos Santos missed the field goal.
I did see that, man.
Doink. He went Cody Parkey. Like, doink right off the left upright, and that would have sealed the game earlier. But doink right off the left. It made it a little bit closer than it should have been, but Bears were up 21-3.5. I know you didn't watch much of the game, but Justin Fields was impressive. Like Mooney only had one catch for 5 yards on a screen. But he was in control. Skulks, I'm sure you watched the game. Whoever else with us tonight, I thought one of the most impressive things tonight is that Justin Fields was in total control all night tonight. Like, not once did I feel like he was out of sorts. Was he? Even when he was pressured, he seemed cool, under control. There was one time, I can't remember if it was Justin Fields or not. Storm, what's going on, brother? I can't remember if it was, but I think it was Justin Fields. It was like a 4th and 1. Like, it was third down and like 4. They got to like 4th and 1, and Justin Fields just got him right up to the line. Like, he didn't even think twice about it. Like, he got him right up to the line and just ran the sneak, and got them the first down. So, overall, I think it was just Montgomery looked good tonight too. He was running hard. The no holding penalties by the offensive line tonight. There was one holding on the receiver. Jeffrey, what's going on, brother? Yeah. Skokes, I don't know what you thought. I thought the offensive line was great tonight. I mean, they did not have a holding call. There were a couple of pressures, but Getsy made the right calls and called screens at the right time when they were blitzing. So I'm sure that was part of the plan, to kind of let them go through when they called the screens. But overall, just the first unit. And here's the thing I'm going to say also, right? Any national media that keeps saying that the Bears are trash and that Justin Fields has no help around him, and that this is the worst roster, they're not watching any of these games.
You're talking about Mike Martz again?
Not just Mike Martz, but
that's what we talked about recently,
right? Colin Cowherd, some of these guys on ESPN, Ryan Clark, some of these other guys.
Quite a few people media, who say we're on the bottom,
yeah. Look, Storm, I think this that's true, right? This is completely night and day from what we've seen, right?
Hey, let me ask you a question though, for people like me who've only seen clips. So I'm looking at the stats right there, and the Bears third down conversion was 1 of 8. Was that mainly the second unit?
Yes.
All right. How about in terms of the running game? You could see right there, in terms that's first downs, like a big disparity between passing and rushing. Montgomery was 9 for 28, and he had one good run of 13 yards.
Yeah, the first couple of runs, the first series, he got stonewalled the first 2, and I think they just Getsy just called a couple plays just to kind of get his feet wet, because the first series was 3 and out. But after that, he picked it up. There was one play that he had a really great run, but he got called back because of a holding call on the wide receiver. But the line held their part, right?
How about Jenkins? How was Jenkins playing?
I'm telling you, the whole line was great tonight. Like, they were fantastic.
Did Fields get sacked at all?
I don't think so.
Guys, was he in a hurry at all?
No, look, there were a couple plays where he was hurt, but again, I think that was more the play call because there were screens.
Yeah.
Um, there was one scramble play. Anyway, you got Storm and Skokes, you guys saw what I saw too. There was one scramble play that was super impressive. Like the blitzer came right up the middle. Fields kind of did a 180, rolled out to his left, ran up to the line almost like Mahomes, and he kept his head up the whole way. And
Don't
right when he
compare
got
him.
to the line, when he got to the, well, they were even doing it on the broadcast tonight. That's kind of where I got the comparison from. So
Gotcha.
he made the throw and
I'm wondering if
got the first
this
down out of it.
here. Let's see if is this one of them. Let's see. Let me
1st and 5 for the Bears. Justin Fields.
That's not the play. That's the touchdown.
Yeah.
That was the first touchdown. So
Ryan Griffin.
yeah.
How'd he play?
Griffin, I think he's the guy that cut that touchdown pass right there, right? He's the guy who got
was,
called.
Yeah, man.
He was the guy who got called on the holding call on the Montgomery run. So that was the only penalty in the first half and it was on him. He had the only penalty, but otherwise he was running some pretty good routes. I think he had like 2 or 3 catches tonight. So, Skokes, I'm going to talk about this really quick too. Getsy was great. I think with the play calls, but the one call he made, I think that was really kind of gives me a lot of hope and optimism was in the fourth quarter. It's in the fourth quarter.
Really?
Yeah. The fourth quarter.
Sorry.
Look,
sorry about that.
The fourth quarter didn't mean much. We just got the ball back. We're up 21-20. They just scored on off of a fumble. They made it close. They missed a 2-point conversion. We run one play. Cleveland takes a timeout, and then the second down, they do a play action, and Peterman throws the ball down the field, and we get the ball on the other 35-yard line. If this was Nagy's offense, we're running the ball. We're running. We're just trying to run out the clock. But Getsy was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to throw it. We're going to go for the win, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Skolk, you know what I'm talking about, right? That play, that gives me a lot of hope and encouragement that this is going to be a different year and a different system, and we're going to have a guy that's running the offense that's not going to be afraid to take any chances.
What quarter was that in?
Fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter? Okay.
Yeah, I know you're trying to look for the highlights, but I thought that was a great call, and I'm glad they didn't try to run the clock out. I mean, look, it's fourth quarter. It didn't really mean much. But that pass from Peterman and Coulter was on point, and that kind of iced the game. So, again, the second unit, Peterman played okay. Simeon was a little bit off tonight, but,
Yeah, he threw an interception, huh?
For the most part, I thought it was okay, right?
All right, well, let's
so
Jesus Christ.
I don't know, Storm, Skokes, whoever else is here with us tonight, Jeffrey, and whoever else is, thanks for tuning into the stream, whether you're on YouTube or Twitter or on Facebook. What do you guys think of the game? I'd like to hear what you guys, have to say about it. So, Storm, I'm going to put this up. Don't put stock in guys that have played or coached in the NFL. Guys like Bayless or Cowherd, not quite. Yeah, I agree. I think those guys are just kind of there to kind of add to their ratings, and sometimes they're right. They make their bold predictions. But
now, by the way, this is exactly what we were talking about right before we talked. I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday. I can't remember. We talked about some of the things we wanted to see. One was confidence from the offensive side of the ball, and they showed it. I mean, it's great for them coming into the season.
Yeah, Jeffrey, I think you might have seen the same thing I saw. Fields was just totally in control. Like we talked about also like the game day management. Plays got in quick, the personnel was in. There wasn't any scrambling trying to get guys in and out of play. Cleveland had to take a timeout, I think, because they couldn't get the right personnel on the field, right? We didn't have that problem tonight. Plays were called early. Field was able to make the right read, make the right decisions. And that first touchdown pass you showed, like that was on point. Like they showed an end zone view from behind Fields on that route, and
that was outstanding.
It was a fantastic throw. And there was on the second touchdown drive, and I don't know if you guys saw this also, Storm and Jeffrey and Skokes, there was a little screw, like a little out. It only got 5 yards, but it was a freaking like amazing throw because there was the defender right between him and the receiver, and Justin put just enough touch over the defender, and the receiver caught it on the sideline. Was like maybe like a 5 yard gain. But that was an impressive throw. So
how about this? How about these defensive play here? How was the defense?
The defense was good. I mean, look, again, they didn't really play. This is the second team I think that was in because they didn't have a turnover in the first half.
Yeah, this is the second quarter.
Yeah, I think they played great. You know, like Roquan didn't play tonight. But the defensive line held up. Gordon was impressive. Gordon was all over the place. I'm excited to see what happens when Gordon and Brisker are both on the field. Yeah, Vildor looked good too.
Anything you were worried about in terms of the defense? Because there was something that I was hoping for from the defense before the game was on today, and that was one of it was defensive pressure to the quarterback.
It didn't look like we ran a whole lot of blitzing. It didn't look like we ran a whole lot of stunts or anything like that. But there were a couple plays where Cleveland was trying to run some screens, and we totally sniffed it out. They tried to run some misdirection. They tried one play where they tried a fake reverse and then an end around, and we totally sniffed that out. Storm, I agree. Look, I think there was enough pressure. They didn't have to blitz or anything like that. Brissett looked a little bit pressured and a little bit rattled at times, I thought. But, some of those guys that, like, again, the one guy that really stood out to me was Kyler Gordon. To me, like he was impressive out there tonight. The defensive line played well. The defensive backs were kind of all over the place too. You mentioned Valor. Valor played well. They didn't play. Jackson didn't play. Right. Jalen Johnson didn't play. Jaquan Brisker didn't play. But and I don't even know if Muhammad played. I didn't hear his name called very much tonight. So. But the one play I was thinking of tonight was Kyler Gordon was defending on a play, and then they actually called offensive interference. He got pushed off. Yet Kyler Gordon was strong enough to come back and actually still tip the ball and make the play.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
All right,
so,
then this is his last TD.
This was the most impressive one, I thought.
In terms of play calling?
No, because he scrambled. He could have taken the short guy, but he saw Komet down the
field.
Yeah,
you're totally right.
If you replay that again,
I will.
You can see where he
right
he
here
had the guy underneath, and he's telling the guy go down, and he's wide open.
He was
That's
definitely
Komet.
wide open, man.
Yeah. So.
I was good to see, man. I looked at while I was at dinner. I was at a birthday dinner, and saw it was 21-zip. I was pretty impressed with 3 TDs from Fields. I'm like, that's nice.
And that was in 3 consecutive drives.
Yeah, you were talking about that too. We were saying maybe because we were talking about 25 snaps. You're like, maybe that's 2 drives. So did he just play 3 drives and he was out?
No, the first drive was 3 and out. Okay. The first drive, they moved the ball. They got the touchdown. Second drive, they moved the ball pretty well, and they scored a touchdown there. And I honestly thought he was going to be done. Like, I thought there's nothing left for him to really prove tonight. He got his action in. And even in that third series where they scored the touchdown to Komet, Montgomery wasn't even playing anymore at that point. I don't think St. Brown was playing at that point. They were trying to get a look at the other guys. Komet was the only other starter. The starting line was still in at that point.
Okay.
But
what about so I'm looking at the receivers. They had Calder had 3 for 61, Pettis 3 for 37, Komet 3 for 36. Anybody stand out in the receiving corps today?
All of them.
All of them did?
Look, what's been the national narrative, right? The national
we don't have any receiving. Yeah,
we don't have any. After Mooney, we don't have any receivers. right? Mooney
Yep.
had one catch for 5 yards tonight, and that's it. Everyone else he found everybody else. They were all running good routes. Justin found the right guy, made the right reads, made the right calls, made the right throws. He was 14 of 16.
I know, with a
Only
QB rating of like 140.
only 2 incompletes tonight. And so, like, again, in total control. Just
Okay, so was Cleveland's defense, starting defense, playing? Do we know that?
no, not Miles Garrett didn't play.
There were quite a few
Uh,
people on the Browns that weren't even playing,
no,
but nonetheless, total yards for the Bears 331, pass yards 253. Oh, in comparison, they outpassed, rushed, and total yards against the Browns.
again, I think that's misleading because of the way the second half went and
I
the way that,
understand.
right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise it was like about one. Justin Fields had about 156 yards in the first half, you said?
Yeah, first half.
And I'm looking at Brissett, maybe 100.
Yeah, I think Brissett played into the third, actually.
He might not even had that many then. So, hey, you know what? Did you see the Seahawks barely lost to the Cowboys, and we looked dominant over the Seahawks.
Yeah, and we beat and again, it's preseason. I'll always preface that, right? I mean, we beat the Chiefs in the first preseason game. The Chiefs beat up on the Packers just a couple days ago, right?
Always
So
good to
for
see,
whatever
man.
that's worth, right? Yeah, look, again, we didn't play against the starters, or like we didn't.
Or their
Cleveland
starting
didn't.
running back team either. Yeah.
Well, just for look, as impressive as Justin Fields was, Storm's right. I mean, Miles Garrett didn't play, Clowney didn't play, Ward
Yep.
didn't play. So
I
some of their
agree.
big defensive guys didn't play, and would have made a difference. Who knows? Maybe it would have made a difference, right? But the fact is that Justin Fields went out there, was impressive, was control of the offense. Getsy called a great game with the play calling. So, look, people say preseason doesn't matter, but
It
don't
does
you?
for confidence.
Yeah, don't you think the team's got to
Yeah.
feel good that they've won 3?
I do, and I think I mean, obviously, we hadn't scored in the first 2 games with the first team, did we?
Well,
I
they
don't, I
said that
don't, I
tonight
don't
was the
think we
first.
did.
Tonight was the first time that Justin Fields had a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Right?
So I mean, like 3. Yeah, and to get 3 right before the first game, I think that's a really good start. So hopefully that means some bodes well for the San Fran game where we are picking the Bears to win.
Yeah. Well, we both picked them to win, but look, I think the defense. The only thing that's a little bit I don't know, worrisome. Did you hear why Roquan didn't play tonight?
You told me. I saw that he wasn't playing, and then
Yeah. So they interviewed Ryan Poles at halftime, and that's the very first question they asked him. And Ryan Poles said that Roquan felt some tightness in one of his legs, so they decided to hold him out for the game tonight.
That was it.
That was a great move, I think. If
That is absolutely great move.
Yeah,
they can't afford an injury there. Yeah.
No, because if he would have pulled a hammy, that's out like probably 4, 6, 8 weeks. If he's got a hammy that he pulls. So
I thought it was rumored. I thought it was rumored that there was some kind of contractual thing again.
No, it was just that
just tightness, man.
Just tightness in when he was warming up for the game, because I think he was planning on playing, and then when they came out for the final warm-ups, he wasn't in uniform. So,
well, that's good, man.
Yeah, other than that, I think it was a great game. I thought I'm excited. Now it'll be interesting to see the final 53 they cut down to on Tuesday.
That will be a fantastic kind of news. I'm actually excited not only about the Bears but also other teams to see if the Bears can strengthen their roster through other people's cuts.
So That's interesting you say that, because in the broadcast they interviewed one of the player personnel guys prior to the game. Luke Canales interviewed the player personnel guys, and he basically flat out said, "Yeah, we're going to be looking for wide receivers on the waiver wire."
Hmm.
So I don't know
Why
if he was.
not? Why not look at Beckham? I don't get it.
Yeah,
Evans,
Evans got hurt in the fourth quarter. He was running
really?
well. Yeah,
He
was
was
running
even
well.
last time. Even last game, he looked good.
Yeah, I hope they just put him on IR so at least they can save a spot for him. But who knows? They've got. I mean, they've Ebner looked good again tonight. Um, all
I
the running
wonder.
backs are good.
I will be totally curious of the wide receiver crew who's left. I mean, I didn't see Pettis. I mean, I didn't see Pettis in some of the other uh, preseason games. Be
Um,
too impressive, and he had a
I
pretty
just
good showing.
yeah.
Hey, Beckham could make us a contender. No, wild card. How about wild card? Push
You know,
for a wild card. You
if
never
Oda,
know.
if
Dream.
OBJ were smart, he would hold out for like the first 4 games. Like, don't sign with a team for the first 4 games.
Well, I don't even know if he is he even ready to play
Oh, I'm sure he's ready to play.
injury wise.
Yeah, I think he's healthy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think he's being
We'd have
smart.
to look that up.
You know, because if
Yeah.
a team like, let's say for example, you don't want anyone to get injured, right? What's up,
So
Crowley? How's it going, brother?
Crowley.
Look, it's you don't want anyone else to get injured, right? But let's say, for example, like a Cooper Cup goes down, or one of these big time wide receivers goes down. They're going to have a need, and they're going to pay somebody. And if OBJ is available and on the street, they're going to pay him some good money to come there for 1 year, right? So,
We were
Stormy,
putting it at the same time, man.
Mooney, Pringle, ESB, Jones, Sharp.
I don't see them carrying 6 either. But I see Pettis maybe making being on the practice squad.
Well, I don't even think, is Pringle going to be ready for game 1?
I haven't heard anything about Pringle, man. But I mean, a couple weeks ago they said he might be ready for game 1.
Okay.
But I have not heard recently of what his status is at. I do like Sharp. Obviously, Velez Jones is going to be a big. How was our? Hey, special teams has been an amazing story. I think the first 2 preseason games. How were they tonight?
Except for Cairo Santos missing a field goal.
Yeah. Besides that,
Punting game was great.
that guy's a good punter, man.
Gil
That
was
was a good pickup.
Gil was good tonight. He almost had one blocked, but he did great tonight. I thought the coverage was good.
Yeah.
I don't think the return game wasn't anything special.
Okay.
They didn't turn the ball over. They caught the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can really ask for, right? But I think that's the spot they're waiting for Velez Jones to come back and kind of dominate in that spot. Now, look, if you're going to take a 6th wide receiver, it could be for a return guy.
I would think you'd have a dual role guy, so I don't know if you're going to have 6.
Well, again, assuming Pringle's ready to go, right? And Jones, assuming both of those guys are ready to go.
I agree with Storm.
Right?
Oh, Harry's not making it, man.
Let's see.
And the defense, I was thinking about did the defense give up any long plays?
Not the first team. Not that I remember in the game.
Harry is a bum.
Storm has spoken. So, no, I just think that the first units on both sides, the first half was just a good half. Like, if that's what we get the rest of the year, we're going to be competitive in every single game.
I'll be happy with competitive, and I'll also be happy with 9 wins.
Well, look, did you think the Bears were going to go undefeated in the preseason? Not that it counts for a whole lot. I mean, especially since we played Kansas City and
No,
Seattle?
I didn't think we were going to go undefeated.
Okay.
But then again, I know it doesn't mean a whole lot. It does mean some level of confidence for these guys coming in, especially the amount of guys that are new, and you have a lot of rookies on that team. So yeah, they'll be feeling good. I hope they don't feel cocky. I hope it's a bunch of guys that are just driven to show what they're worth, especially with the media coverage lately.
So let me ask you this, and I'll ask everyone else that's out there. So do you think the way they played and the 3 wins gives Eberflus
E pluribus.
like a
Please.
lot more clout with the players?
Clout.
Like, in other words, like
Like
like a little more buy-in, like okay, look, it's more than like, I'm not like you've heard it lately, like, guys like
like
Jalen Johnson and Eddie Jackson were like, well, I wasn't sure about this whole principle, this whole hits thing, but
yeah,
now we're totally all about it.
yeah. I think it does. I think I've heard nothing but positives about the whole coaching staff. I haven't heard anything negative, so I would think they'd be buying into it, and that's probably why we've seen the level of hustle, lack of errors. Although you did say you saw there was the few miscues today, um, but yeah, I think you're right. They're buying into his whole strategy and system.
The other thing I think I'll say is that I after watching these 3 preseason games, I think they made the right hires at offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Getsy, I think, is the real deal, and it wouldn't surprise me, if, let's hang on to him as long as we can. Look, if the offense goes well and Justin Fields goes well, right? Look, I know you're saying pump the brakes. I get it, but
Yeah, just
I
a
get
little
it.
bit.
But look, you want those guys on your, like, all these Adam Gase and Mark Trestman and Mike Martz and all these offensive coordinators we hired
Yeah,
supposedly that had good reputations. Getsy, I think, is the real deal, right? And
this
he's
is
got a
not a
little,
bad point either, man.
you know,
Storm's point is a great point, man. I've heard that too.
that's exactly what I was just getting at,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but in a way, that's why I say pump the brakes too. Just like he's saying, Gase, Trustman, Martz, they all had some like immediate success, and then they could not like change their game plan in the middle of the game or at halftime when the other team called them out on their plays.
But look, here's the difference, though, right?
All right, that's the difference, dude.
All
Tell
those
me,
guys, when they came in,
you and your magic ball.
look, when all those guys came in, they had good. They had good guys. They had really solid offensive linemen. They had talent wide receivers. When they came in, usually they had a quarterback at least that had some decent skill, and we had good running backs. So there was never ever a complaint with those guys about the players that they inherited. Like, everyone was excited because the players they inherited, like, okay, this guy's going to take these guys to the next level. That's not the case with Getsy.
Oh no, you're absolutely right with that. Yeah, they definitely had some more talent. I'd have to go look back, but I'm not sure all of them had top talent. But I think you might be right.
I mean, I can't remember the last time until maybe since Sweetness was playing, right? How badly the Bears are getting ripped for the roster.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Honestly, I still don't understand how they see. Well, there's even some Chicago reporters are saying the same thing, but I don't see it. It's the weakest schedule in the NFL. They seem to be energized, having quite a bit of intensity. We've seen some progress on the offensive side,
I've
and the
seen a lot of
defensive.
progress.
Yeah, and the defensive side truly wasn't bad to begin with last year. They had injuries, and this year they're a little bit more healthy. I just don't. I'm not sure what I'm missing. Now, if the injuries pile up, like Storm is mentioning, and the losses start, then we're in trouble. No, we're not seeing an 8 or 9 win season then.
Yeah.
If we got injuries, we're in trouble.
Well, look. I guess the other part is like, even if Justin Fields gets hurt, right? Like, or
Mhm.
he's got to miss a little bit of time, maybe a game or two. I still feel pretty good that we got Trevor Siemian as the backup, right? As
Yeah,
opposed to like Chase Daniel
yeah.
as the backup, right? But but again, we'll have to wait and see what happens next week. Let's see what they come up with.
Let, let me ask you a question before we go.
Yeah.
If you had any jersey to wear at Soldier Field, any jersey, what number would you pick? Let's say, what would be the top 3 numbers of jerseys you would pick to wear at a Bears game? Any player. I know you're wearing Fields now, and I like that.
34 would be first.
So Walter. I would too. I mean, I don't know how you can't go wrong with wearing number 34.
I think the second number I would go with is 9.
Would that be for McMahon, or
For
are you
McMahon.
talking about now success with
No,
Brisker? Okay.
McMahon. And the third number, that's a great question. Third number, I honestly think I would go with 10.
Mitch,
I would wear my Trubisky.
because you were totally true to him.
Big believer in Trubisky.
Yeah, you were. I could see you doing that. Now, Storm 23. Are we talking about Sean Gale? Who are we talking about? Oh, Devin Hester. What am I talking about, man?
Devin Hester. 50 is a good one too, Storm. 50 is a good one also.
Okay, so I would also put out there 95. I loved Richard Dent.
Okay.
Dan Hampton. I was a huge fan of Dan Hampton too. Yeah, I got it after I had my cobwebs out of my brain. Trying to think who else would there be? You already named the guys I would really want. Walter too. Wilbur Marshall, man, 58.
I thought about 58 also.
Oh God, that guy put a hit on people, man.
Either that or 55
Otis.
for Otis Wilson.
Yeah, we always go back to that 85 Bears team, but they were so darn good. I know a lot of people will go, a lot of people. 54 is a big seller, I think, still. What about Mike Brown? I loved Mike Brown, man.
20?
Yeah.
20.
Mike Brown, that was one heck of a player too. What about Forte, 22?
22. The other one I think I would wear is 76.
For McMichael?
For Mongo.
Yeah, that poor guy.
For Mongo. Like I would wear one for Mongo.
Oh, big Ted Washington. Now, when we had
Brown was 30, correct. Storm's right, 30.
Yeah, Ted Washington, man, that guy stuffed the line. We had a heck of a defense. A lot because of Ted Washington, and there was another guy, big dude, right next to him. Oh, it's gonna bug me.
Tractor Trailer.
Yes, those two guys allowed. They just stopped the run, man. You couldn't get around those two guys.
Robert
they could take
Tractor Trailer.
Yeah. What other? How about some of the offensive guys? Offensive linemen.
Oh, Keith Trailer. Storm, man, you're correcting me left and right.
I like Olin Kreutz too.
57.
Yes, 57.
I think I got that one right.
Yeah, you did pretty good job. 700 pounds of beef, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of prime ribs in the middle of the lineup, that's for sure.
I know. I like Kyle Orton too, man. He was my kind of guy.
Number 8.
10. I thought he was number 10 for some reason.
Kyle Orton was
too.
8.
Yeah. I wasn't a Rex Grossman fan. I mean, obviously, the year for the Super Bowl, yes, but after that, I'm like, nah. Cade McNown, total joke.
So this is
Cedric
probably
Benson.
look. This is probably an obvious answer, but like, if you had to pick one all-time coach to coach the Bears, like if you had to pick like an all-star team, and you had to pick a coach for the Bears all-time team, who are you taking?
George Halas.
Huh. That's a good answer.
I don't like Mike Ditka anymore.
I thought you were going to go with Dick Duran.
No, man.
Okay.
Seriously? Dick Duran?
Maybe Mark Trestman.
You know what? Honestly, I think I still like Lovie Smith.
Huh.
I don't like how he stood.
Storm.
Mad at you for this. Well, duh.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. But Lovie Smith stood too much with his offensive coordinators, just like who was it? Was it Nagy?
For what?
Nagy was refusing to get rid of his offensive
coordinator.
Yeah,
I don't remember who that was.
Neither do I. Because he called them anyways.
Because he called the plays anyways. It didn't really matter.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in for tonight's post-game edition of Windy City Digits. We're going to be back tomorrow with a very special recorded episode, so watch out for that. And if you haven't had a chance yet, check us out on Spotify. Our episodes are now going up on Spotify, along with YouTube, and hopefully soon, not only on Spotify, but hopefully the next episode will also be up on Google Play and Apple Podcasts too. So,
oh wow, look at you, Coach!
With this very special episode. We thank everyone for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance yet on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe. Hit the bell, get notified in future episodes. If you're listening to us on Twitter or on Facebook or Spotify, make sure you subscribe to us there too. So thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We do appreciate you guys. Peace,
love,
and digits.